Three Body Problem by Sixian Liu. Hello, welcome back, and this week's book is The Three Body Problem by Sixian Liu. The Three Body Problem is a hard science fiction masterpiece dedicated to presenting science into an exciting story. The book shows a lot of polish and makes for a really great read. In the best possible way, this book explores a ton of fields. Philosophy, computer science, astrophysics, theoretical physics, quantum mechanics, nanotechnology, electrical engineering, and even political science. It's a home run when it comes to interdisciplinary fiction. Now, for the layman reader who just finished reading Prince Harry's new book, Spare, you might be under the impression that this book isn't for you, but this book does an excellent job at taking those complex fields and distilling them into something understandable for the average reader. Having a science background in any capacity will make this book easier to understand, but when reading topics I had no background in, I didn't really feel lost, which was very much appreciated due to how much of this book revolves around the sci-fi concepts. The characters take a backseat to the story. It's not something to be surprised about, as this book takes inspiration from the Isaac Asimov sociological sort of storytelling, where the individual doesn't matter as much as the system in which they are placed. But the characters aren't totally left out. Wang Miao does go through a character arc, but doesn't complete it. Wang Miao ends up give or take around the abyss in the hero's journey. Wang Miao does have some characteristics, but not really. He likes photography, but that's about it. He is really only part of this book as a storytelling vessel instead of a motivating individual. This is intentional. I'm assuming that any other nanoscientist within this world would have acted similarly to Wang, and this effect applies to the other characters as well. However, it's really important to remember that Wang's journey isn't the most important part of this book, and that the hard science fiction and the mystery presented to Wang is the real storytelling. Despite Wang, however, I loved a bunch of the side characters. They all had something fun. One of my favorites, hands down, has got to be Shi Quang, otherwise known as Da Shi, because this man is da shit. As someone with no college degree, working a basic job in America, and now trying to read and review science fiction books, this character resonates by far with me. He is an experienced investigator with no science background whose best skill is his perception. Free D&D character, anyone? He is a constantly smoking, rude character who will walk into a room of international officers, piss all of them off, and then somehow through powers of keen observation find the missing clue or plan a careful mission. Despite people disliking Shi and his general rudeness, he does take a soft side to Wang and helps Wang process the shock he feels from the story. I like him, and he helps the story kind of break out of its very serious technical world, so he's a fun character. But the characters don't end there. Yi Wenji plays a super vital role in this story. Famous scientists make appearances throughout, and many other interesting people take part in this world. I also have to mention that if you're someone who is tired of getting invested into some character who, through the course of a chapter, makes a minor change and then stumbles upon a clue for his next adventure, but oh wait, we need to switch up characters because we forgot about so-and-so on the other side of the galaxy or world, and then 4 chapters later, when you finally return to this character, you have to re-remember the character's whole arc and what the hell they're doing, and then But this book, like that fresh feeling after going to the dentist, does not do this space opera Game of Thrones character transitions. Instead, it follows the characters to a logical point before it changes the point of view, and even when the story does change point of view, it's for a clear purpose. I never felt like I had to take notes on 15 characters to remember what the heck each one of them is doing, which made this story a lot more enjoyable and allowed the awesome sci-fi stuff that I came to read to shine through. In reflection, the characters in the Three Body Problem do succeed at not being forgotten, but they really succeed at allowing the hard science fiction to shine through. Oh, before I go on to the next topic, for anyone who did this read book, did you notice that Wang Miao visits his wife and kid one time throughout the book, and they are never mentioned again? He literally puts off his concerned wife when he is trying to uncover the countdown in his film and never addresses her again, despite him spending hours in a VR headset and going on numerous readings. I'd like to send a thank you to Ken Liu, the translator of this book, for making it very smooth to read. I've read foreign translations of some books, and they can be pretty choppy, but this book is very well translated, and so it never feels like a tough read. Also, a thank you to the publishing quality of Tor Books, because it has a nice feel, and the quality of the pages is much appreciated. I actually have the book over here. Despite being personally quite hard on books, I found this copy to handle quite well, especially in this part right here. I usually get this part all bent up. But yeah, this is a high quality translation, high quality book. I'm definitely a fan of the publishing quality. All right, this is the point in the review when all the gloves are taken off. I'm talking about spoilers. This is a great book, so definitely go read it if you haven't. But if you have, or if you are like me and you love to read spoilers, then feel free to go ahead. I'm going to get right into it. So the sociology and psychology behind a lot of the characters' choices is one of the many cool parts of this story. Look at Yi when Yi makes the decision to send the message back to the alien civilization. It's really rooted in her pain after losing both of her parents and her career during the Red Wave. However, through the tragedy of her life, she has become apathetic to everyone, including her husband and the human race. This leads her to make that fateful decision to send a message back to the Trisolarians. She starts in motion the actions of Mark Evans and the ETO. But would she have been able to make this decision if it wasn't for the cruelty she faced during the Red Wave and the discipline and hard work she had to put up afterward? In that moment when she sends back the message, she concludes that the human race and the evil that humans are not worthy to run themselves, and it's partially this decision is based on her life experiences. But in comparison to Yi, let's look at the radio operator on Trisolaris that returned her radio message telling her not to respond. Are the conditions of the radio messenger not so different than the ones Yi experiences? He's alone, watching the radio waves of the universe play a repetitive drone. The harshness of his planet has left the Trisolarians focused solely on survival. They execute anyone who is unable to find a job. There is no art, and there is no beauty for the people of their planet. Through hundreds of civilizations, they have encoded this coldness into their being. When he responds to Yi, he understands that the humans of Earth might be better off on their own instead of the albeit necessary brutality of the Trisolarians. In Reflections, these two are both rebels against their own worlds and their own people. When we discover the two protons and its capabilities at the end of the novel, humanity seems to give up, understanding that no matter what scientific developments are made in between the 450 years before the fleet's arrival, we are doomed. But we disregard the Trisolarians, who are averse to their own people, who maybe upon seeing the beauty of Earth and the love and art we might make, soften them to our own plight. Or better yet, show them the problem of their own system, similar to how Yi and the ETO side with the aliens against the system of our world. I wonder in future novels how this could be explored. Also, despite the doom that humanity feels at the end of this novel, I think there are some ample little puzzle pieces that hint at humanity's potential survival. They state that humanity has the ability to speed up their technological developments compared to the Trisolarians, and with the Trisolarians stating that an off-world particle accelerator might be able to delay the proton interference, that now, and with humanity knowing the exact weapon being used against them to delay our scientific advancement, we might be able to come up with a solution to this problem. I also really love Dashi's line at the end where he talks about the resilience of Locust and how despite pesticides, fires, and genetic mutation, the Locust still manages to survive, pointing out that the bugs in which the aliens view humanity might not be as true as they believe. This book is awesome, especially for people who love interdisciplinary works. It's a really fun read that's not afraid to break the mold of a traditional character-driven story. It does first content in a way I have yet to see done. Its quality and polish is built by the great writing, great translation, and great publishing. If you're someone who loves science YouTubers like Vsauce and Rotasium, then it's a great book to read. I really loved it. Please go check it out. Thank you for watching my video. I really enjoyed this week's book. I started a podcast with my friend Tyler, and episode 2 with Jacob Higgins is out this week. Thank you again, and I'll see you all next week.